Today I am embarking on one of the world's most beautiful train journeys, the Ella to Kandy route in central Sri Lanka. On this 7-hour adventure, we'll admire stunning tropical greenery, imposing mountain peaks, and countless tea plantations. Apart from showing you the breathtaking scenery, I will also share some essential tips for this particular journey and train travel in Sri Lanka in general. The adventure begins in the town of Ella. Good morning and welcome to Ella, one of the most epic locations on the island of Sri Lanka. I am currently traveling by tuk-tuk from my guest house, which is located up in the mountains, to the center of town where you'll find the train station. And here we are, the small but very quaint Ella station. It opened in 1918 and today serves 4 train lines, including the one I am about to take. There is an ATM, a ticket office, restrooms and a small snack bar. My train today is number 1006, traveling between the city of Padula and the Sri Lankan capital of Colombo. It is scheduled to depart at 9:23 AM and arrive in Kandy at 3:53 PM. As such, the Ella to Kandy section should take around 6.5 hours. As we are waiting on the platform, let me explain the different ticket options. This train has 4 classes: AC Saloon or First, Second Class Reserved seats, Third Class Reserved and Third Class Unreserved. I booked my ticket 4 days in advance on the official Sri Lanka Railway website and both First and Second Class were already sold out. As such, my only option was to get a seat reservation in Third Class, which is what I did. So yeah, be sure to book your tickets well in advance, because these trains sell out and they sell out quickly. As you can see, the platforms have signs indicating where the carriages of specific classes will stop, which is a nice touch. As we are waiting on the platform, it's important to know that these trains almost never run on time, and today was no different. The departure time of 9:23 AM came and went and nothing happened. At 9:45, the train pulled into the station and I quickly found my carriage. And here we are, Third Class on a Sri Lankan train. I have to say that I was pretty nervous about this journey, but upon boarding the train, I was positively surprised. Yes, this is very basic with no frills, but the carriage was clean and well maintained, and the seats felt okay at first glance. But let's see what I think about them at the end of the trip. At 9:53 AM, exactly half an hour behind schedule, we left the town of Ella on our way north. Third Class is in a 2+3 configuration, and depending on how big you are, you might struggle on these pretty narrow benches. Luckily, I did not have a neighbor for most of the journey. The website didn't let me choose, so I was randomly assigned a seat. If I had been able to choose, I would have gone for the first row in the carriage, which has more privacy. There are no plugs, AC or Wi-Fi, but then again this is Third Class, so you can't really expect any creature comforts. There is also plenty of storage for your luggage, and thanks to the open windows, the carriage didn't feel too hot. So let's see if this journey is as mind-blowing as advertised. Just a few minutes outside of Ella, I got my answer. The views just kept getting better and better, with a mix of lush greenery, tea plantations and small villages. On this particular journey, we are not passing over the stunning 9 Arches Bridge, which I showed in a previous video. One thing to note is that this train is extremely slow. The distance between Ella and Kandy is just over 160 kilometers and it takes around 7 hours, giving the train an average speed of less than 25 kilometers an hour. But with these landscapes, you wouldn't want to go any faster anyways. As we are trundling along, let's talk a little bit about the very dense and extensive Sri Lankan rail network. Sri Lanka was a British colony called Ceylon between 1815 and 1948, and it's during this period that most of the rail network was developed. The British colonial government started building train lines on the island in 1858. The main objective was to connect tea and coffee plantations with the colony's ports, and from here on out the network expanded rapidly. Today there are 1,508 kilometers of tracks covering almost every corner of the island except for the southeastern coast. Sri Lankan trains are slow and there is nothing fancy about them, but they provide an essential service to the nation as they move around millions of people daily for very fair prices. The train I am on right now is a Chinese import. The coaches are relatively new and they are pulled by a 2019 S14 diesel locomotive. Everything is manufactured by CRRC in Qingdao, China and then shipped to Colombo. The top speed of this train is 100 km an hour, but on this journey it doesn't get anywhere near that. We continue through stunning landscapes and tea plantations. Sri Lanka is the 4th largest tea producer in the world, and in this part of the country you can definitely see that. One of the best things about being in 3rd class is that when you stick your head out of the window you can smell the tea, which is very pleasant. This train doesn't have a restaurant car, but you can buy snacks from an onboard vendor. I got an egg sandwich and 2 samosas for 400 rupee. Cheap and delicious. I also went to check out the loo, which wasn't in a great state. And there was no soap or toilet paper, so bring your own. By the way, this is what 1st class looks like. There is plenty of space as well as air conditioning, but having traveled in 1st class on a different route, I don't think it is worth 3 times the price, which is what you would have to pay on this journey. Besides, in 1st class, you cannot open the windows, which is a pretty integral part of this whole experience, if you ask me. Anyways, 2nd class is pretty similar to 1st, but without air conditioning, and the windows in 2nd class do open. 2nd class would have been my top pick, but as I mentioned before, it was sold out. The hours went by and I soon realized that the train had racked up quite a bit of delay, which is very common in Sri Lanka. So yeah, this is not a fast way to get from A to B, it is a slow ride through spectacular scenery. The Ella to Kandy route is often ranked among the best train journeys in Asia, if not the world, and I would probably agree. This country is just so green, and riding a slow train through the breathtaking mountainous terrain is the perfect way to take it all in. The last part of the journey is pretty boring though, and it's here where you start to feel tired. The seats might be okay for a while, but after almost 7.5 hours in them, your backside will hurt a little bit. We arrived in Kandy at 5:05 PM, more than 1 hour behind schedule. As I am traveling to my hotel by tuk-tuk, it's time to reveal the price. I paid 1,200 Sri Lanka rupee, which is an absolute bargain for a 7-hour train journey. And that's it for today. Please let me know down in the comments, would you take this train? And which other journeys can compete with this one in terms of sheer beauty? As always, thanks very much for watching and see you again next time. Goodbye.